Hey, what's up, guys? So in today's video, I want to talk to you about a simple trick I've developed, or process really, that I've developed to increase profits and your close ratio. So this all comes down to how you close, how you ask for the business with a large scale remodel or a custom home. These are 6, 7 figure deals. These are not closed in one phone call. I mean, not normally. So what first we got to start by understanding the difference between selling and closing, right? So selling, you're educating, you're consulting, you're training the prospect, the homeowner, how to make a decision. Whereas when you're closing, you've already trained them, you've consulted them on the risks, the trade-offs, the benefits. The moment you unveil, you basically, I'm sorry. So another way to explain it is with selling, you're educating the homeowner on what the problem is and your solution to solve that problem, simply stated. Now, when we're closing, the price has been revealed, and now we're no longer educating or consulting. We are facilitating a decision. And the best closers are 100% divorced from a yes or a no. The best closers will not accept a maybe. Okay, we are facilitating a decision. Are we or are we not? First, number one, do we agree that this solution is in their best interest? And if it is, great, let's go. If it's not, great. I'm happy to have helped you, the homeowner, to make a good decision. Anyway, the issue is, even if you have the best solution in the world, right? You have the best design process, you have the best build process, you have the best pricing. It is human nature, when faced with an unfamiliar decision, to delay, to think that more time is going to help them make a better decision, when in fact it's better information that's going to help them make a decision. And that is why standard follow-up doesn't work. The whole just checking in, just following up. The homeowners already got what they wanted out of you. They got their price, and they know what you want. You want a decision. What do they want? Not to make a decision, right? And not to feel pressured by the decision. So that's why the whole standard follow-up just doesn't work. That's why you get ghosted. Okay. And so the way you avoid getting ghosted, and this is that trick I'm about to take you into, that I use, that process. It's not a trick. It's not anyway, is to understand this one simple concept. People write checks to solve problems. Okay. So when we're closing and we're facilitating that decision, and you ask for the business and they say, I need to think about it. Okay. Rather than saying, well, what do you need to think about? Or what do you think they would say? If you really want to facilitate a good decision, we need to create a new problem with scarcity and urgency. Scarcity to create the problem, urgency to compel the decision, right? And if you're a real pro, what you're going to do is, let's say you're asking for, a $10,000 retainer on a design agreement in preparation for a $150,000 remodel. And of course, very few people have $10,000 laying around the couch cushions. So what do they say? I need to think about it. Right. So what we need to do first, before we got to introduce scarcity, create the problem, introduce a solution by minimizing the decision, chunking down the decision, and eliminating risk, doing a risk reversal, and then using urgency to ask for the business again. Okay. And so what I like to do is I like to use the next step in the project development process to manufacture that scarcity. Then I use urgency when you don't close. And if you bear with me, I'll even take you through an example. This is what it looks like. Let me share my screen. And what we'll do here, we'll go to share your screen. Sorry, share screen. There we go. And so we're looking at a proposal I'm fixing to make. And so the thing is, I've already dropped price. When I say dropped price, means I've unveiled the price. Colloquially speaking, we just got naked. Like there's no more leverage. Homeowners got what they want. And now I want a decision, and they want to delay. That's just human nature. So what I do here is I use the measure meeting, which is the first step in my design process, to create that scarcity. Okay. And so it goes something like this. All right. So hey, Lane, it's so weird saying my own name. So, hey, John, the next step, let's talk next steps. So the next step is to schedule your measure meeting, which is the first step of our peace of mind process. And as a luxury boutique design builder, we only launch one of these projects, these specific kind of projects, once per month in order to control quality. What did I just do? I set the stages to create scarcity. All right, back in character. And so I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is we have a measure meeting available for the month of April. The bad news is if that falls through for whatever reason, I won't be available again until next January. What did I just do? I then dropped scarcity. I introduced a problem, right? Because I'm saying, hey, we got to go by April. It's the second week of March. It's not a lot of time to think about this, right? So at that point, now I'm going to pause, dramatic pause. So yeah, the good news is we have a measure meeting available the month of April. Bad news is if that falls through for whatever reason, I'm not available until January. Okay. So John, where do we go from here? Right? That confused senior citizen tone. That's what I call it. Like, that's our close. So John, where do we go from here? Now they're going to say, oh, let's get on the schedule. That's a lay down. Or, is all that due today? That's a buying question. We're going to close. 19 times out of 20, you're going to hear, I need to think about it. So if that's going to happen 19 times out of 20, then rather hoping and praying this is going to be that one time in 20, I just get a lay down. Let's just normalize the fact that the homeowner is going to say, I need to think about it, and come prepared with our redirect. And so now I'm going to say, so John, where do we go from here? And you're going to, and so now they're going to lie to me and say, Lane, this all sounds really good. This was really detailed, very professional. I just need to talk to 2 more contractors, or I need to think about it. Now let me get back in character. So yeah, John, not a problem. I didn't expect you to make a hasty decision, validating them. Tell me, when were you thinking of getting back to me? Right? Putting it right back on their court. I'm not going to pull out my calendar and be like, when were you getting back to me? Now, this is where they're going to lie. They're going to say, yeah, sometime next week, or they may even have a date in mind. They may say anything short of, let me call my wife. I'll get you a decision right now. You're going to disagree with. You're going to take control back. Okay. And so this is where you're gonna be like, Lane, I'll we got the weekend coming. Can I get back to you early next week? I'm going to say, John, I wish that would work. Unfortunately, as busy as we are, I'm only available for a phone call Thursday or Friday next week at 4:15 on Thursday, 5:30 on Friday. Which one is more convenient? Notice I didn't say which one is convenient. I said which one is more convenient. So now, even if they have no intention of coming to the meeting, they're at least going to pick out a time just to get away from you. Good. I want to have that meeting on the book so I have a reason to call. Okay. Human beings have a problem not making their commitments. Right. So then, so once we get down the books, I'll be like, awesome. So John, looking forward to reconnecting with you next week. It needs to be at least 7 days out. So next week, Thursday, Friday, whatever, it was a pleasure seeing you again. I'm honored by the opportunity to compete for your business. Again, validating that, but I do have one more concern. May I share that with you? That's ominous. Of course they're going to say yes. They're not going to say no, Lane, get the fuck out of here. No. So they're going to say yes. And I'm going to say, okay, so John, just to level with you, I will be, if you want to say just to level with you off the record, I will be shocked if this measure meeting is still available Thursday at 4:45. And the last thing I want for us is to reconvene. You're excited to move forward, and I'm not in a position to serve you until January when you want this done by September. So I tell you what, to solve this problem, why don't we just swap some paperwork, right? That's a really non-threatening way of saying sign a contract. Let's just swap some paperwork. I'll take a completely refundable $500 deposit. If for whatever reason you and the wife, want to move in a different direction, I'll give you your money back. Pregnant pause. I'm just looking for a micro commitment from you, a small micro commitment from you to justify turning away the likely future business. Fair enough? Got to master that tone. Fair enough? Right? All human beings want to be known as fair, unless they're a complete fucking psychopath. Right. So the people that are on the fence, now what do we just do? We created scarcity and urgency, basically in the same breath, by saying, hey, odds are this April meeting is not even going to be available, and it's a completely risk-free option for you to lock this in. And just in exchange for a show of refundable good faith. Now, why does this work? Because most contractors are going to be up in their arms, like, "Oh, Lane, they're $500. Oh, they're going to cancel on you. That's just going to create another problem." No, they won't. I mean, 1 out of 5 times they will, but 4 out of 5 times they won't. That's just been my personal experience. And the reason why is because, remember, people write checks to solve problems. So now the next contractor or the other contractors they met with have to get over the fact that, number one, well, really what it came down to is they got to get over the fact that homeowner wrote a check to you to schedule, to lock in the next step in your process, which means they're bought into that process. Right. In the homeowner's mind, the moment they stroke that check and you cash it, they've basically all but solved they've solved their problem. And that is a very tough hurdle to get over for your competitors. So that's why it's just to play that numbers game. And so what? 1 out of 5 times you're gonna have to give them that 500 back. Don't go spending that on anything. But 4 times out of 5, you locked in that deal and you're not chasing ghosts for 3 months just to get the same flipping result. And that's going to speed up your sales cycles, which is going to speed up your design cycles, which is going to speed up your build cycles, which is going to allow you to do more projects in a year to make more money. It's also going to allow you to price, I don't want to say more aggressively, but more appropriately, knowing that essentially you're going to put them in a position to where you're only competing against their wallet, not other competitors. So you don't have to worry about margin pressure. You shouldn't worry about margin pressure. So now let's talk about who would say no to that. 2 different kinds of people are going to say no to that step down risk reversal redirect of a close. And that is somebody who doesn't have the money, because nobody's going to say, "No, Lane, I'm broke. I can't afford you." I mean, they would, that's just, I call that the Midwestern no. So if they can't afford you, they're going to be too proud to verbalize that. They're just going to say, "Yeah, I appreciate the offer, but we still need to think about it." We still need to think about it is the Midwestern or the Southern no. Right. And otherwise, the other person that's going to turn down that offer is the highly analytical type that is going to call 19, 20 different general contractors, hoping that one of them is going to be desperate enough to do a bunch of free work to develop the project, to at least get it to maybe an as-built floor plan standard, so that we can get a fairly accurate preliminary estimate. And then they're going to turn around and take your homework and shop you. Right. And so what ends up happening is those homeowners usually end up talking to contractor after contractor and realizing that to get to that as-built level standard, that's that's 20, 30 man hours of work. We're looking at 5, 6 grand, like straight up, especially if you're talking to an architect. And so what ends up happening is they finally realize that what they're asking for does in fact cost money. And they end up doing business with the last contractor that they speak to, because the other 19 beforehand are sick of their bullshit. Tell me I'm wrong. So there are other ways beyond the scope of this video to counteract that scenario. But just know that the only people that are going to say no to that step down redirect of an offer either A, can't afford you, or B, are those super analytical types. And fortunately, those super analytical types, that problem can be solved. And happy to talk about that with you guys one-on-one. So if you liked what you saw in this video, down below, I have a gift for you. It's my designer referral relationship SOP that I've used inside my challenge, which you can see in my daily lives, to build a $2 million contractor with just $100 in a truck. That's the process I've used to build a 1.1. No, that's a lie. 145 is going to build in 2 weeks. And then we have another 900 going into design between today and tomorrow. So probably just shy of $1 million that we pulled off in less than 52 days contracted, which is pretty cool, because my original target was $1 million sold in 90 days. So check. But anyway, if you want that SOP that I've used up in Bellevue, Washington, you're more than welcome to have it. You'll find the download link below. If you want to talk about working together, you'll find a link below to that. If you want more material like this, come join our private Facebook group and join the discussion. Also, link below. All right, guys, be good.